Yeah, lights on, game time, let's break it all down. From the spreads to the lines, who's up, who's down. We're crunching the numbers, calling the plays, talking all sports in a big time way.
Welcome back to Spreadsheets Sports. It's Saturday night, and I would say the video's coming out a little late, so I'll go ahead and throw out the apology now. The universe was doing what it was doing all day, so I just decided to give in to the universe and do what needed to be done, and now I'm free to really be committed. Because if I did it earlier, then I would have been providing you some information that could be tainted. And that would have been wrong. I'd rather be late and right than early and wrong. So that's just me. Anyway, here we are. Thank you guys for coming to the show. Thank you guys for those that are returning. You already know, you're the reason that the show is growing. It's great. Those that are just getting here, we're trying to build a community based off of math and just a lot of data analysts or analysis, say that incorrect, and also just really want to look at the games from the data and the objectivity of it all versus the subjectivity of some of the soap opera stuff that be coming with the game now, and completely separate from all of the other social podcast talk conversation and deal with who's going to win this game, who's going to get smacked in the mouth. That's all that really matters over here. And we get things right, and we get the benefit from that. So it's been good. And we've had some losses. We take those losses on the chin, and you keep it moving. Win some, lose some. But anyway, if you find value in the content, please like, comment, share, or subscribe. I look forward to us having a really good time tonight looking at these games. I have prepared something pretty special, I think, for everybody. I'm breaking down the games through the slate, and then as I get to certain games, I'm going to then break it apart so we can look at the details of it. So that's how I'll run these games down and tell you what picks are for moneyline, spreads, points I think that they can get as well for some decent money. What is the probability of them actually winning or losing? Like that type of stuff. So let's go down this rabbit hole. If you need to hit the pause button, I know it's a little late for some people. There's just getting the notification. So you need to hit the pause button and go make a drink. This is the time. And if you need to roll something up, this is the time, so that we can literally see what we really got. And I know we got something this weekend. Like the books are getting sharp, and we got something. It's some easy money to be made, but it requires some discipline, some flexibility. You gotta have fun with this. Don't be on no hard 90-degree angle square with this. This is not that. There's I read a quote one time that said, in the world of sports betting, everybody is right and everybody is wrong. So, with that reality, don't sweat it like that. It's okay. You know what I mean? You'll make some good calls. You're going to make some bad ones. You're going to make some bad ones on a consistent stretch from time to time. And sometimes you're going to be making good ones, but not picking the good ones and picking the bad ones. There's so much with it. But you got to ride the roller coaster because you got to be around for the big hits. And the big hits happen for no rhyme or reason. You just hit. You did everything that you were supposed to do on your end with being conservative, concise, pragmatic, objective. You did everything right with picking the bets that you picked. And it just didn't happen. Some people like to resort to, oh, it's the books and the blah, blah, blah. And maybe it is. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it just didn't happen. It just happened. Maybe he didn't get 41 yards and you went 40. You went 41 and a half. He got 41. And you're saying that he's getting paid by the book to stop at 41 yards. It's a stretch. But I mean, I would go down that rabbit hole with you. But man, it could happen. And then he just only got 41 yards. So with that being said, this is where math comes in, so that you are like as long as you did what you were supposed to do, the harder you work, the luckier you'll get. Okay. So let's dive into it. Let's have some fun. Let's see what kind of money is hidden in the traps. What kind of upsets we got, and let's get to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's run through it. For those that are new to the channel, quick rundown of what you're looking at. Okay, this is the game slate, and the way that I put everything together is as follows. On the far left, we got the temperature and we got the weather. Next to that, you have the time of the game. Then you have C/CD. C/CD means conference or conference division game. Then you have obviously the game, the away team, the home team. Then you have your some of the odds that are out there on the marketplace, right? So they obviously are moving every 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or even more frequently than that. But this is the quick snapshot of where the odds are right now. All right. Team points and the odds for that. That's also another snapshot from the marketplace, just to see what is out there as a possible bet for any of the points per team. Next to that, you have the rank of each team, and you have the estimated score as well. And then you have the average probability of who can. You can look at it as this column here is two things. When you look at this is one and two things. It's if it says, like, for example, the Steelers 68%. One interpretation of that is that it's a 68% chance that the Steelers can win the game. And that's partially true. The other interpretation of that number is going to be, what probability do they have of scoring at least 21 points? I always have favored towards the probability that they can score that point versus the probability that they can win. Now, with that being said, there's consistency in that percentage number in the average probabilities, because I'm averaging the probability of the data, the algorithms, with two of the other platforms that are out here. One of them being Ross Tucker, one of them being Covers, another is D-Rate, another one is Greek Gridiron. And I'm looking at what they're doing and trying to come up with a baseline from them. And then I'm basically combining to have an augmented average number for like a baseline of alternate versions of the game, if that makes any sense. It's almost like tapping in and looking at other dimensions, right? So I'm looking at alternate ways the game could go to give me a somewhat of a baseline, and then mesh the idea of the baseline with the reality of what the data says. So that's just a peek inside of my brain, how I'm looking at the data, okay? You can look at it however you look at it when it comes to that percentage number for average probability. But those are two interpretations that may be helpful for you. Then you got LNBTL. That means the line battle. And that means if it's a yes or an in there, that means that the offensive line wins that battle. When it comes to SKING, that's the skilled players that are injured or possible to play. Okay. And then on the far right, you have WLRAT percentage, and that stands for win-loss ratio percentage. And that's whether they're away or are they home. So that's the layout of this. You can take a screenshot to do your research and everything. We got plenty of time to do this because we only got a 9:30 in the morning game, right? And that's overseas. And we'll talk about that now. Let's just jump into everything and get started. So Rams Jaguars is our 9:30 in the morning game. Only thing I really like with this game is that the Jazz can win. I mean, that's just jumping right into that one because like they overseas and the Rams got Nakua out. I think that really hurts their offense. Excuse me. And on top of that, their right tackle is out. So they may have some problem with some sacks and roughing up their quarterback. So I think Stafford is going to deal with possibly having to be on the run, be a little bit more mobile and do some dump offs. But other than that, I also think the Jazz are missing Devin Lloyd and also Quentin Morris. So with that being said, their front seven is thin. Now, the Jags have a balanced attack versus the Thins. Like this Rams defense is thin. Okay, the Jags are kind of on a tear right now. So with that being said, like there's a good chance that they can exploit that, in my opinion. So that's another reason I'm going for the Jags. So there's two reasons. There's an edge, and they're on the road. And like on the road overseas. So I'm going with the Jags on the game. Next up, we have the Raiders and we have the Chiefs. Okay. So in this game, the Chiefs coming in healthy. Um, Kelsey and Pachenko had limited practice, but they are going to be green light for the game. We also got Mahomes in this game, and he's literally on an 8 game home win streak. I had to pull that up. I was like, yo, this guy's on a little streak. 8 game. Raiders are struggling offensively though. They're on the road as well, and they struggle even worse on the road. So with that being said, like I think as long as KC can like avoid turnovers from being so excited about where everything is right now, like you got Rashid Rice back to go with Worthy. On top of going with that, you got Hollywood Brown. And then in the middle, you got Juju and Thornton, and then Noah Gray and Kelsey. And then you got Pachenko and you got Hunt. Hunt between the guards, Pachenko between the guards, and out in the slot for a screen. And Patrick Mahomes steering the ship. And then you got the captain Andy Reid on the sideline. Like it's poised to be something beautiful to watch. But it's a rival division game. Okay. So, but be conservative on any bets that you guys would do with that game. I'm just telling you the layout of what you possibly looking at. Okay. Um, the Chiefs defense has been looking decent. They've been holding their opponents to like 20 points. So they bend, but they don't break. You might run down the field and be progressive. That's to be sure. That's to be seen. However, when you get in the red zone, these guys hold it down, and as the field shrinks, they get stronger, which means that there's a possible opening of a problem with our secondary. Our secondary are causing problems and allowing too many yards in the air, which is why the field shrinks so fast. But even when it shrinks down the red zone, the rest of the defense does what it does. And then also the secondary shines because they prevent any passes from being thrown. So there's that. With the struggling Raiders, but they always play tough in this rival, so maybe they play tough in this game, and it is what it is. But I'm going with the Chiefs on this game. I would even take points for, um, take points for the Raiders. I don't see them not scoring at all. I just see them scoring like maybe 14 points. I would take the Raiders for 14 points. They got a 16 and a half. You can pay a little bit more in the juice for 14 or 13 and a half. That's a really good bet. They can score 14 points. The Chiefs defense is good, and but they're not gonna like shut somebody out in a division game. They're gonna be fighting. Geno is going to be fighting as bad as he's been. He's still gonna fight, and they got some weapons. They're just not activated or something. So don't sleep on them. But we'll see what happens. Next up, we got the Dolphins and we got the Browns. I'm going with the Browns in this game. I like the Browns in this game, mainly because like I just don't see like the Browns defense failing them. Myles Garrett continues to nurse this whole elbow injury he got, and you got like Judy may start. Dolphins offense looks to try to kind of gain something since losing Tyreek Hill. Um, I think Waddle and a chain is going to be like their breath of fresh air and can kind of keep things going for them. I've been seeing that combo come alive over the last 2 games. Njoku is out. That's huge for the Browns. So, no Joe Flacco and Njoku out. They're going to struggle to score, but I think they keep the score so low from a defensive perspective that we end up seeing that the Browns can win this game maybe 14-10. Think they struggle to get that 14 though. I think if the Browns can score 14 points, they win. The Dolphins is just not in best form, but they got something. I think, and what they got is going to have to be enough. Tua's not all banged up. So maybe the Dolphins can come through on this, but that would be a possible upset. I ain't going to say I don't see it coming because the Browns struggle with their offense. And they got Njoku, and like Njoku's out, like you don't have nobody to dump off to. I'm calling the Dolphins. I'm changing my mind. I'm not going with the Browns. I'm going with the Dolphins on this game. Dolphins need a win too, and on top of that, it's raining a little bit. So, with it being raining, Dolphins need a win. Messy. If Tyreek Hill was still a huge part of the Dolphins offense, with it being rain, I would probably go against them and side on the Browns, but they keep it messy and physical. But the Dolphins already had, by default, had to like exploit their run game because Tyreek Hill is out. They already changed. They did the necessary change, and here they are. I like the Dolphins in this game. I like Dolphins for the money line. That's going to be an upset number one. Patriots and the Titans. With the Patriots and the Titans, I got to tell you, Drake May is as impressive as it gets this season for me as a fan. Everybody has their perspective, but I like the Patriots in this game. Vrabel is going to face his former team. The Titans wide receiver Ridley is questionable with a hamstring problem. And on top of that, Tajay Spears has emerged as their change to a fast-paced option. Expect some physicality and field position battles on this particular game. Like, it's going to be all about momentum. But I think overall the Titans can produce some points, but the Patriots ultimately come down with the win at the end. That's just what I see. Next up we got the Saints and the Bears. With the Saints and the Bears, like, very interesting game. Okay. Like, Spencer Rattler right now has been getting like a bad run of luck. And with that being said, it leaves me to like think there's some life there. Okay. However, you got Caleb Williams, and he's fully healthy, coming off of back-to-back wins, right? So this matters. When you look at the data and you're looking at the Bears, they lose the battle at the line. However, the Saints win this battle at the line. If the Saints win the battle at the line, like the data says, then that means Spencer Rattler can finally start to pass or pass better because he's been doing good enough with what he's got. But they've been losing the battle at the line. And it's another rain game. So it's messy. Conditions mean that the ball might move around a little bit. It might get like to the point where fumbles are an issue with this game. So with that in mind of the Saints game being messy, Caleb Williams doing well. They just had another messy game that they won in the very end. The Saints are not the Commanders, but they might stick around then they're gonna definitely make this physical. I'm gonna call I'm calling an upset in this game as well. I like the Saints to win this game. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. Kelly Williams might prove me completely wrong, and Roma Dunze and everybody else that's with the band that they got. But I'm gonna go with an upset in this game, and I'm going with the Saints because the Saints. I see the Saints scoring 21. I see the Saints scoring. I see Spencer Rattler having 2 passing touchdowns, and I see them getting 21 points. Rattler might run one in on the 4-yard line on a bootleg or something, or trying to scramble to keep it alive and just runs it in. They want to win. They just haven't had the opportunity for it to break through. So I'm going with the Saints. Eagles and the Vikings. Definitely a game I want to look at under the microscope because Justin Jefferson is back. Justin Jefferson is back. In case you didn't hear me the first time. But the problem they have at the Vikings is that they having some problems with what they're going to do with their quarterback. McCarthy is going to be game time decision, but Mullins is ready if he needs to be. And they up against the Eagles D line that's dominant, like especially with this return of Carter and Reddick. They healthy now. They active. It's always kind of been a Justin Jefferson show, but we gonna see what they can do. Like, but they gotta do it. I don't know. Do you counter the Eagles' ability to manage the hell out of the game clock because they can control? They can eat up 5 minutes on the run, easy. That's par for the course for them. They could even stretch it to 7 minutes. So your offense will sit on the sidelines for 7 minutes while the Eagles' offense can manage it, push it, first down it up, short dump offs, whatever. They can do that. Barkley will beat you down and beat you up. Like it's the Eagles are tough. They're a tough team to try to go in and beat. Um, let's look at this one under the microscope because I'm really like I need you to see the data I'm looking at so that you can scratch your head just like I am. All right, so when you look at this particular layout here, if you're new to the channel, all right. So what I did is I basically provided you with a look at a side-by-side comparison of comparable stat columns. Okay, so when you look at each team in the very top half of the card, and you can screenshot this as well. I did this on purpose so that you can screenshot it and look at it on your phone instead of having to come back here. Okay. When you look at this particular graphic, what that all of this means at the top is how they compare to each other, apples to apples. You have what type of identity they are as a team. You have the offensive production, defensive production in regards to what they allow, points per game, points allowed per game from a defense, what the blitzes happening with the defense, what their rank is as a defense, special teams, all of the above. Everything else is self-explanatory. I don't want to like eat the video up with telling you how this works because I know you're smart enough and you're highly intelligent if you're already doing this. So as you look through this, this is why it's there. Okay. Always feel free to leave a comment. If you have a question about anything, send me an email. It's all good. But when you see something green in those columns in the top section, that means they win the battle versus the other team. Just to keep it that simple. All right. Now, with that being said, the Eagles have more areas that they win. They have more categories that they win in this game over Minnesota. However, Minnesota's sample size data has been coming off of without Justin Jefferson. Okay. Justin Jefferson being back, but still having problems with the quarterback, like the game time decision of the quarterback is really dictating what I would say with this game. If they don't have their guy, like if McCarthy is not playing then the Eagles win. If McCarthy plays, it's competitive. Competitive to the point that with McCarthy, I think they can score 21 points because I think one or two is going to come from Jefferson just because he's back. I'm just putting that on the table, right? But even if Jefferson don't score, Addison definitely will because that's their main dog right now because of Addison being out. So you gotta leave Addison in the rotation of it all because he's been holding you down and it works. But even on the other side of the ball, you got like Goddard is going to definitely get some dump offs. Devontae Smith is going to get some work. Saquon Barkley as well. Tush push is going down. Jalen Hurts can get you a touchdown or multiple first downs. Like there's that. There's 21 points guaranteed on the Eagles side. The question is, can the Vikings score 21 given the problem with the quarterback? Again, it's a pick 'em for probably anybody out there because nobody knows what's going to happen with the game time decision of the quarterback. So I'm just giving you that disclaimer of if McCarthy starts competitive, Vikings can score 21, and then it probably comes down to special teams, which means that the Vikings have a better special team. The Vikings also the Vikings lose the battle with penalties and turnovers, so then there's that favor for the Eagles. Let's go with the Eagles, even though they're on the road. I'm actually going to say the Eagles either way. Like Eagles, whether McCarthy plays or Eagles if he don't play. Because he's still not 100% even if he plays. Let's go with the Eagles on this particular one. The Panthers and the Jets game, I gotta tell you, at first glance, I want to say Panthers. Is it worth looking under the microscope? I would say no. The Jets are who we thought they were, struggling. That's who they are. I can't really like give them any grace right now. You know what I mean? Like I've done that on other games. I think I've done it on enough games with them to know they are who I think they are. I do not think that the Jets can win this game. I do not think the Jets will win this game because I think the Panthers are a better team than the Jets, and I think the Panthers are playing better football than the Jets. Even though that the Panthers are on the road. The only problem I really see with the Panthers in this game is that the coaching does something stupid. Okay. And the reason I say that is because Dowdle has been doing amazing, but I think is it Chuba Hubbard? He's back, or I think yeah. So Chuba Hubbard, I think he's back. If he's back, and the Panthers OC decides to not keep Dowdle a part of the plan, as vicious as Dowdle has been playing, that would not make a lot of sense, in my opinion. So there's that unknown that we don't know that data can't quantify. I can't reach into the future and understand the mindset of the OC given that the other running back is back. So if they allow Dallo to still be a major part, or maybe they even run like a 2 run back setting, maybe they got that type of thing going on, that would be the most productive thing to do, in my opinion, for their offense. And keep on building from what they got. Bryce is going to do his 6-step drop. He's going to do his naked bootleg. He's going to do the bootleg to step and see the whole field and dump it off where he needs to. So you got T. McMillan. Like they got options. They have players with the Panthers. There's a reason they beat the Cowboys. I saw them for who they were, and I was like, I wasn't just calling it upset just to be like, oh, I don't like the Cowboys. I was just calling it how I saw it, and I saw the Panthers having a productive offense, and I saw them having a chance on defense. They could literally like do their thing. So that's why I think they're dominant in this game. I'm going with the Panthers. Um, Colts and the Chargers definitely want to blow this one under the microscope because the Colts and the Chargers game is quite interesting. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why as I show you the additional data on this game. All right, so here's the thing, right, with the Colts. The thing with the Colts, and speaking from the data and speaking as an NFL fan, of all teams and all players and all. I just love to watch the sport be played. Okay, but I gotta tell you that literally Daniel Jones has like done a complete transformation. I have had people come and argue with me. Well, I wouldn't say argue with me, make an argument that he's not as good as what we think he is. And that's fair enough. And their argument is also backed up with that they think that the reason that they're saying he's not as good as we think he is, even though he's been productive. He has very good stats right now, consistent stats, consistent. His argument was, well, he hasn't really played anybody yet. And I'm like, you know what? And I looked at the schedule, and there's some suspect teams that they have played. So the other argument is player tendencies. And he thinks that Daniel Jones has some tendencies that are going to revert back to what he did when he was with the Giants. Only problem with that is that he has stuff to fall back on like Jonathan Taylor. He has stuff to fall back on like Tyler Warren, which is his easy dump off to save him. He's also dumping off to Jonathan Taylor as well. Like, it's a lot to be impressed by with the production of the Colts right now. Like, literally putting up 245 yards in passing, only allowing 233. They're scoring more points than they allow their team the team that they're playing to score. Like, they have a winning formula. So I don't know how like they're scoring 32 points on average a game and only allowing 19. That's a given win anytime they're up against pretty much anybody, right? As long as they continue to do those numbers. Can they continue to do those numbers and have that ratio? I think they can against the Chargers. Now let's go over to the side of the Chargers. The Chargers, full disclosure, are having problems with their running backs, right? So let's factor that in and let's consider that as well as part of the data. And they are possibly like a number 12 team, right? They have 4 wins coming in this game. They have a number 21 special team, which is not good. So they lose a special team battle against the Colts. So that's another box for the Colts. They beat them in special teams, and they're doing great. And they are just a solid team. And they got like a well balanced team and a good quarterback on the Colts side. There's that. And then there's a great quarterback over here with Justin Herbert. But just on the merits of the apples to apples category match, they are not winning those battles, but they're still producing, which leaves room for error. Okay. And with that being said, I just think that we're going to see a 24-27 game, probably 30-24, 27-24. Both teams are capable of scoring 21 points. Justin Herbert can definitely use Quentin Johnston, Lad McConkey. Like, then there's Disley. Then there's Keenan Allen. You know what I mean? Like, he has weapons as well, and he's throwing very well. They just got a problem with the running back. Is is the lack of having a run game going to prevent them from establishing a pass game with them? Like, and the crazy thing is they're having a problem with run when they have established themselves as a run team. They are at 60% in their run protection. So 60% of what they do is run. And then to have a problem with your running back when that's all you do and you occasionally pass, but you pass and pass very well when you do pass. So all of that being considered, who do I think is going to win this game? It's a tall glass of water for me to go with the Colts against a tough Chargers team with a great quarterback, right? And you got Jim Harbaugh leading the like, oh God, how do I go against the Chargers? Going with I'm going with the Colts on this game. I'm going with the Colts. It's going to be some turnovers. I think the Colts have the edge and they have the efficiency, and I think they can close the deal. Tough loss for the Chargers, and all the way to the very, very end. I think it's going to be a nail biter. 27-24, field goal to win. It's going to be 24-24 in the last minute and a half of the game, driving it down, field goal to win. Or overtime, 24, and field goal to win in overtime, 27. 27 Colts, 24 Chargers is what I'm thinking about. I wanted to look at this one under the microscope as well. So, like with this game, the Giants and the Broncos, obviously we know Bo Nix is doing really, really well. J.K. Dobbins is going to be definitely a plus for him, and Evan Ingram. Bo is going to run a little bit. Courtland Sutton is going to get some work as well. The Broncos dominate most of the categories in this game. I mean, it's set up for a Broncos win. But I think the Giants are going to be very competitive, and I think the Giants have the ability to win this game. Let's start there. They're on a little streak. They got a lot of momentum. But I think the problem is going to be we might see Scatterboo and Jackson Dart in concussion protocol. I'm just saying it. Like it literally like these guys expose themselves, and we love to watch it, but they're vulnerable, and it's not sustainable. Um, they just need to protect themselves more and not take as many risks. But it's football, right? So I don't know. If they cannot have a concussion and go into protocol throughout the game, then very interesting 4 quarters, and they could win this game if they can not get a concussion. That sounds crazy. Just saying it out loud like that sounds crazy, but I think that that's what you got with the Giants right now. Wendell Robinson is going to be available, and he's going to be a huge target for Jackson Dart. Theo John, but see, Dart likes to run. They like he almost is doing like a 2.5 step drop and just pushing off the back foot and just taking off. Like he's not even like taking 6 steps, sit in the pocket, wait for it to collapse and extend the play. He's not doing that. Like he's literally doing run plays, disguised as a quarterback. So maybe that's a good thing from the OC. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, it's been working. It worked last week very, very well. Um, Against a really good team. They were excited. It was electric. They wanted to win and needed to win, and now they on a momentum run. Like it is what it is. Theo Johnson is going to be there as a dump off. You know what I mean? So that's going to help him with that whole game. Like you know what I mean? And then even with that being said, you know Wendell and Scatterboo probably are going to be your people that get you a touchdown. I would think. Um, I don't know if like this could be anything other than what we're looking at. Like, why would you think it's anything other than what we're looking at? We could what don't we see? Because the Giants won, right, the last time, and they won the last time, and we didn't see it coming. So my question is, how do we make sure that we don't get caught in a scenario where we don't see a win from the Giants coming on this one? The concussion protocol is the only thing I can think of that would stop them from like performing very well and being productive. Can they match the energy of Bo Nix with Sean Payton in his ear? Brian Dable is going to outcoach Payton. Um, there's always a possibility. When you look at the defense, like literally, all right. The Giants are going to send the blitz about 10 times in the game, almost 11 times. Same thing from the other side from the Broncos. It's just that the Broncos do a better job. They actually sack the quarterback. So that's going to make Dart run a lot. And if that makes Dart run a lot, is that a bad thing for the Broncos? Because you make him extra mobile from trying to get your hands on him, and then he go and run for 30 or 40 yards. So electric game, exciting, in Mile High. I mean, that's always a factor as well. So who do I pick? Who do I pick? Especially with Denver winning the special teams battle. They got 4 wins coming into this. They winning the injury battle. Tough game. Giants are going to give it all they got. I got the Giants getting at least 17 points. The Broncos defense is good, but I think even with the Broncos defense being good, I still like the Giants to score 17. You can get 20 at plus cheese. I like them to get 17. I mean, conservative is 14. Take 14 yards. And you can do that. And again, there's my player props at the bottom of what I think is going to be some good bets as well for you for production. That's what I got on this game. Ultimately, I'm going to go with the Broncos. Broncos 21-17, 24-21. Broncos. Giants aren't going to go away quietly. They're not. They're going to have to. The Broncos are going to have to fight the Giants and they're going to have to earn this win in Mile High if they want it. It's not going to be given to them, but it's going to be a great game to watch. With this Commanders and the Cowboys game, it's going to be interesting. It's the old school rival of Cowboys and Indians, right? I remember I used to watch this game with my dad as a kid. He is a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm gonna try to take him to a game this season and let him see his homeboys. He was so pissed off with him last season. We were getting ready to go to the game, and they were playing so bad that he was like, "Nah, I don't even want to go see him." I was like, "Wow, wow, that bad?" He's like, "Yeah, they that bad." I was like, "All right." Here's what we got with this game. You got CeeDee Lamb back. With CeeDee Lamb being back, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And the reason I say it that way is because I don't know if Dak is going to do the proper distribution on this game. And as soon as Lamb got hurt, it was a blessing in disguise because it forced him to find everybody else on the field. Pickens started doing well. He also started using Ferguson. Ferguson started scoring. Like Williams was still doing his thing. It was just all working together. He was distributing the ball appropriately and it was productive, and that was actually looking better as a quarterback without having to only focus on CeeDee Lamb. So if the Cowboys can keep up diverse distribution for production on the offensive side, then things will go well. If he goes back and reverts to his game 2 performance, they look pretty good in game 1. But game 2 was where it was like, yo, just find Pickens, find some other people. There's plenty of other people on the field. What are you doing? So I just think that that's going to be what he has to like embrace. Dak has to embrace diverse distribution. He does that. The Cowboys have a really great chance of winning this game, and they're home. They got 2 wins. They desperately need a win, and this is a rival game. Okay, there's all the makings for them to come out and play tough. And I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I'm gonna tell you that if I'm a player on that organization, there's everything here for me to go out and like be super hype about if I'm a player. So I gotta imagine the energy is gonna be at an all-time high. Need to win, and I'm home, and I'm capable, and my star player's back. What? Let's get it. If I'm the Cowboys, let's go ahead and like really mop them if we can, knowing that they can't though, because on the other side of the ball you got Jalen Daniels. Daniels looked good last week, and he looked good the week before on his first game back, even with the bad will. But can you stop Daniels? Can the defense of the Dallas Cowboys stop Daniels? I don't know, because they only blitzing like 8 times a game. You got to blitz more than that with a Daniels, and you got to also put your hands on them. And they're doing bad with actually touching the quarterback when they do blitz. So they almost are better since they suck at blitzing. Blitzing is only probably a formality for them at this point, because they're not a real threat, because I don't see them putting their hands on Daniels, especially with him being as elusive as he is. Other side of that conversation, the Commanders are great with their blitz, and they actually do touch whoever they go back there for, but they still blitz the same production as the Cowboys. So both of them are blitzing about 8 times a game. But the blitz sack ratio, right, is higher and a better ratio than the Cowboys. So I definitely see the blitz being more effective from the Commanders, just based off of the data. Commanders have 3 wins coming into this. They feel bad about that last loss that they just had. So with all of that being said, I definitely see them turning this into an opportunity to like get another W. Nothing personal, but just to get another W. And I like this Merritt kid. Like, he's doing pretty good. Like, he's making a lot of production. I like him. He's consistent. Um, I like Daniels to get 225 or more on passing. I like him for 2 passing touchdowns, because with this brace on his knee, he limits himself out of just being cautious. But I don't think anything is really wrong. I think he's fine. But he just has the brace on, and he's psychologically getting used to having the brace on. So probably gonna have a great game out of Daniels. He might get about 250, but I would take 225 or 210, 215 in passing yards. Being conservative, remember the books are sharp. Um, he may run one in. He may run one in, but he's not coming in this game saying he's gonna run one in. I just think an opportunity is going to present itself, given that they can't blitz appropriately. And when they try to blitz him in like the red zone-ish 15-yard line, 17-yard line, and everything opens up and the pocket collapses, he lets it collapse behind him. He takes off, and all he got to really beat is a linebacker that was already on a route. Touchdown, Jaden Daniels. I'm just saying, I mean, you could think about that design naked bootleg play where he has to outrun everybody. That's one thing. And then there's the other scenario I just told you. So I think Jaden Daniels can get you a touchdown this weekend as well. That's what I got with this game. Anybody, in regards to like who I think is going to win? It's a pick 'em, man. It's a pick 'em. I'm going to go with the Commanders on this game, because I anticipate Dak screwing up trying to force things to CeeDee Lamb. Dallas Cowboys fans emotionally are like, oh, it's going to go crazy, and he's going to get the ball, and CeeDee Lamb's going to get the ball, and that's really all they're focusing on, other than like the whole unit. I'm going with the Commanders. In our last 2 games, what I got is the Packers beating the Cardinals. I think even though Kyler Murray's going to be back, I don't think it's going to be enough, because he's limited in his mobility. Um, he's got a foot problem, so he's definitely not going to be able to rush, not as much as we think he would, which is already a problem, because he already has to step way back, 6-step drop, just to be able to see over the line or do the bootleg. And how you going to do the bootleg effectively with a bad foot? So I think that's not going to really. It's going to be tough for them. They're going to have to rely on their run game. But they did. I will say the Cardinals had a really good game without Murray last week, so they can sustain themselves. And all Murray got to do is just get the ball to the right people. He can't be the game changer in this game. Rely on your team and distribute appropriately, like we're just talking about with Dak, and I think they'll be fine. That's all I got on that game. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna go with the Packers. Jordan Love is looking good. Michael Parsons and their rush is looking good. Packers for me. I don't see this. I don't see a way for the Cardinals to score enough points and prevent Jordan Love from scoring enough on them. And it just comes down to math for me on that game. Last game, the Falcons and the 49ers. I want to pull this one under the hood because it's worthy of reviewing under the microscope because I think it'll be a really great game. You got two really good teams. Falcons are not any slouches. 49ers are not slouches. Both of them have been dealing with like some things, right? I think Penix was dealing with some mental things against the Panthers, but they haven't played like they played against the Panthers. Since then, they've been playing really, really good. Really, really good enough. Really good enough. They were playing good enough to beat the Bills last week, which I called. Okay. So with that being said, coming in after a win off of the Bills, are mentally they in the right place to be like, let's go compete again, or do they think the 49ers are going to bow down to them just because they beat the Bills? I beg your pardon. I would argue that the 49ers definitely will not do that. Definitely will not do that. Not when the 49ers got Purdy back. I'm just saying. Purdy's returning. Minor shoulder issue. 49ers are playing pretty good. Now, Kittle is the one that's kind of up for grabs. Like, there's some reports that saying he will play. There's other reports that say he won't. If he does, if Kittle is back, he gives you 4 to 5 receptions because it's just, why wouldn't you? And also still rushing receiving yards for McCaffrey. Why wouldn't you? Ayuk is a major, major thing, but that's going to hurt to not have him in for the production. Um, 49ers got a pretty balanced run scheme as well. So, like, it's going to be a really, really good game to watch. I mean, but even on the other side of the ball, this is where I got to show you the data so we can look at, like, under the microscope what this game could look like. The Falcons are not any punks, like I told you, okay? I ran down what the 49ers might look like, but the 49ers don't win all the categories. So now you see why I'm like second guessing the 49ers winning this game? Because in my mind, the Falcons are producing better on defense and on offense. They are a run first team that has a decent enough passing core. Their receiver core is decent enough to have on the side and to still beat you to death with Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson will beat you like a redheaded stepchild for 4 quarters and get 100+ yards rushing and receiving. And you cannot stop him. He is an animal. Okay? He eats first downs for breakfast. That's what this guy does. Literally. Good luck with that one. And then that's where you gotta worry. And he blocks very well for Penix sitting in the pocket. So good luck against the Falcons. Even as amazing as the 49ers look, I mean, it's going to be an amazing game to watch. It's going to be amazing because I don't know which way it goes. I mean, the data said that, like the math data of it all, the algorithm says 21-19 Falcons. Do I believe that? Do I think that the 49ers can't score more than 20 points? That's the problem with the data. And like, I'm going to have to disagree with the data on this, but I think that the 49ers can score more than 21 points. I don't think that the Falcons defense is that good. They're good. But are they that good? 49 scoring 21 points. Falcons are scoring 21 points. which leads to being like, if it is a stalemate and both of them are like head to head, who wins in special teams? 49ers. Who wins in penalties? Falcons. They're more disciplined. That means they won't lose as many yards. Who wins the turnover game? The Falcons. So you see how I'm compartmentalize all of that? Bijan Robinson could get you 1 or 2 touchdowns. Drake London is looking really, really consistently great. He's getting the ball thrown to him, and he's catching the ball that's thrown to him. Ah. I'm going Falcons. I'm going Falcons on this game. Just because of how I laid it out for you. If Kittle is back, see, that's the real hinge. The real linchpin for me is Kittle. If Kittle is back, then I would possibly be persuadable to change my mind. But without confirmation of Kittle being back, and then on top of that, him and Purdy coming back, fresh off an injury, no game time speed for like at least 2 to 3 games apiece, like they got to get in sync on top of that. I'm going with the Falcons. I'm going with the Falcons. Tight ass game, 24-21, 27-24. Something like that. I'm going with that. 28-24, 27-24, Falcons. That's all I got. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was some value in there for you in regards to how we looked at the games. Make conservatively, guys. For those that are betting, for those that are looking for some really games to watch, I hope you were able to pull that from the list in regards to who's going to be competitive and not some blowouts. But those that are betting are out here like taking some chances, taking real chances, like be conservative, be disciplined. This is the time that you would be like, all right, I'm gonna take X, Y, and Z bet instead of this other bet. And I know you really gonna want that other one that they're paying a little bit more. But remember, go into those platforms, go into those books to play your game. Don't play their game. They're sharpening their knives. The books are getting very sharp. We're at week 7. They know exactly what they got. They know the same thing we do, right? They got their own math that they use and how they are doing their own probabilities, and we have ours. Sometimes it aligns and it matches, and sometimes it doesn't, right? Sometimes they're wrong, sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong and they're right. It's just how it is. And when we're wrong, just consider it paying a tax. That's the tax that we have to pay the books to win, is to lose. Losing is a part of this. Losing is a part of the actual activity. You lose, you learn, you adjust, you come back and win. And sometimes you come back and you come back and you lose again, and you learn from that and adjust. And then you lose again, and then you come back and adjust, and then you win, and then you win big. And then when you do win big, you're back as if though you never left. And then sometimes you'll have that one win, and then literally boom, then now you can go on another run. And then sometimes you only want to go on a run, you just want to have consistency. And this is where the round robin strategy comes in. Like, be cautious. Definitely try to get you some round robins in. Because things happen. Like I said, I'm not the guy that's like, oh, I didn't get 41 yards for such and such, so the books got the game rigged. Like, maybe I'll go down that rabbit hole with you, but maybe they just didn't get 41 yards. Like, there's that too. Considering all possibilities. You know what I mean? Because that's how my math is based, like literally inside of my brain, and how I have to make the data models and simulations built. It literally is in the world of like probable and possible alternate scenarios / realities, right? Like I'm channeling into the universe, and I'm almost like time traveling a little bit, where I'm looking at alternate versions of how the game could unfold. And then I'm combining that mathematically in different algorithms for different probability formulas to help me figure out from a baseline, like what's the worst that could happen and what's the best that could happen. And that range that it gives me allows me to really kind of give me a playground to play in regards of what possible situations are highly probable. So I'm staying with that approach. It's worked very, very, very well for me. Very well. Very, very well. But happy hunting, ladies and gentlemen. The books are sharp. They're sharpening their knives. Take no prisoners because they definitely have no remorse for you. Okay. And those that came here to watch and find some games to watch, I hope you guys enjoy the games that you have. Happy hunting to all of my fellow hunters out here and soldiers and soldierettes. But let's get some money. Let's get a bag or a couple bags. It'd be nice to get some parlays to pop off. The straight bets are always good, but the parlays are better. And then sometimes the parlay don't hit, but the round robin do with all, like I had 8 games on there, but 7 of them hit. Parlay didn't, but the round robin did, and it's still ka-ching. So you know what I mean? Like I look forward to that. I need that right now. I need that right now. Let's go. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Like I said, I'm gonna put another video out. It's gonna be just strictly player props, and then I'll have some bets in there for you and another round robin in there for you as well. But that's all I got for tonight. Check out these videos here, and I will check you out tomorrow.
Lights on, game time, let's break it all down. From the spreads to the lines, who's up, who's down. We're crunching the numbers, calling the plays, talking all sports in a big time way.